day, pretty sure it's day 73. Hopefully I'm right. Doesn't matter if I'm not. Find out. Just bringing in my regular update. I'm on my way to work. I don't want to go to work. It's busy as hell at the moment and I'm just like so drained. But I have been able to get some comics done this morning. So I woke up this morning at, well, I normally get up at 4:30. I've been doing that since I started. And then this morning, it must have caught up with me a little bit because I fell back asleep for about 45 minutes and woke up at 5:15, which I was like, oh man, now I've like missed my chance to draw. And also I realized, I don't really need to get ready for work until about 6 o'clock. So instead of not drawing, I drew. So I got up, made myself a coffee and started drawing, and which is very frustrating because, as you'll see in the coming clip at the end of this video, I was very close to finishing page 11 inks, very close, and I know that if I hadn't have slept in, I would have finished that page this morning. So slight pain in the bum, but what can you do? At least I got more than 30 minutes in. I got about 40-ish minutes in by the time I made my coffee and everything. So I'm happy with that. And then I was just watching a Jake Parker video while I was drawing. It was the product not a project video, and it was cool because it was just sort of like a little reminder of why I'm doing Monkey Junk. I'm not just doing it because it's a fun little project. I'm doing it to have a finished product, and I want to publish a book with it and do so many other things with it. So yeah, it was kind of nice just to listen to a video like that while I was drawing. I've definitely been trying to make more of an effort to actually listen to art or creative topic videos rather than just listening to music and such in the morning now. I just feel like they drive my creativity a little bit more, and they just get me a little bit more invigorated, and I learn something from them generally as well, which is great. I know a lot of people do it, but I'd stopped doing it for a while, and now it's good to sort of be back. I'm sort of struggling to find some new stuff. I've been listening to Ink Pop Audio a lot. I've just recently subscribed to his Patreon because the content he creates is absolutely amazing. The artists he talks to and whatnot. So I highly recommend that one. There's Jake Parker, there's the Artcasters, Jason Brubaker does some great stuff. If you guys have any recommendations of videos I should check out though, please feel free to dump them in the comments there so I can check them out and other people can check them out too. Yeah, so last night was also a bit interesting. I didn't do anything creative last night. I had a games night with my friends. Practically everyone pulled out, so it was just me and my best mate Chris. Went around there and we just hung out. And I think for about 2.5, 3-ish hours, we just sat on his couch playing The Legend of Zelda, and it was awesome. Like, we're both at different levels, so he was doing different stuff and I was doing different stuff, and we were just shooting the shit while we were playing video games. And yeah, it was fun. It was just nice to it was actually nice to get out of the house and just relax. Like, even though I would play video games at home sometimes anyway, like just doing it in another environment with a friend there, and just getting away from that space for a while is, it's far more relaxing. Like, I can relax at home, but when you do that day in, day out, you run that same schedule so long, it's nice to get away, even if it is just sitting on a couch at someone else's house. Yeah, it was really nice. So I'm glad I did that, because everyone else was pulling out. I was like, oh, maybe there's no point. I was like, no, I'm just gonna hang out. He was up for hanging out, so we did that. But before that, so I got home, I had dinner and everything. Jazz had been doing a bit of cleaning out at home, sort of in preparation for the impending move in a few-ish weeks' time. Scary to think. So she was going through some of our folders, like ones with tax and everything like that, and she came across one of my sort of accordion folders, and I think it was filled with a whole bunch of tax stuff, but stuffed in there was some art folders, and she'd pulled those out and left them on my desk, and I was like, oh wow. I had a look at them, and my god, like, my art is pretty bad. I'm actually really tempted to take some photos and pop them up on Instagram, being like, some comparison shots now of like what I used to draw like 10 plus years ago to now, like, man, like I haven't really looked at any of my art like that in a long time. So seeing that really opened my eyes to how far I have actually come as an artist, and it was really good. And one of the other things that to add into that was one of my first mini comics that I'd ever drawn. I remember the very first one I'd ever done was a little comic called Killer Bunny, and if I can ever find it, I'll definitely share it with you guys. But this is another mini comic. This is definitely around the time that I was like super inspired by, oh, it's really dark all of a sudden, what's going on there? There we go. Super inspired by Jonah Vasquez and Johnny the Homicidal Maniac and Invader Zim. Why is my camera going so dark? What the hell? I don't know what's going on. That's better? Okay. That was really weird. Yeah, so love those sorts of comics. Sort of that morbid, stupid humor. And so I created this little comic called Billy Horror, and it was essentially just a blatant rip-off of Johnny the Homicidal Maniac. But it was a little reminder for me, and I don't remember doing this at all. Like, even now, having seen it, I don't even remember producing this book and photocopying it and putting it all together and lettering. Like, it's all lettered in Illustrator and everything. I don't remember any of that. But wow, like, as bad as it is, and I'm going to put some footage up here of just me flicking through it, but as bad as it is, it was a nice reminder to me that, you know, I haven't been just creating comics recently. Like, I've been creating comics for as long as I've been really drawing, and that was a really important reminder to me. It was almost kind of like I needed that reminder, to be like, yo man, like, you know, you're not just doing this because, you know, you've come up with a cool story and you want to make a comic about it. It's like, you've been making comics for so long because that's who you are, and that's your drive. That's what you've always wanted to do, and that's always what you wanted to be. There was a part of me that always thought, like, oh yeah, I'm not going to really do comics for on the long haul. But I don't think that's true. I think whether I go pro or whether I just do it as an independent for fun, I think comics is something I'm always going to be doing all my life. I think now is probably even better because I'm now at a stage, I was having this discussion with my mate yesterday, I'm past that stage of just doing comics because it's fun, and you know, the inner kid in me just wants to make comics. But, you know, that part of that's still true. One of the main reasons I do it is because I like to create stories and share those stories. But the other part of it now is, and I think as I'm getting older, is learning. I love learning about comics. I love learning about techniques and processes, understanding how comics are made, understanding why people make comics the way they do, why people lay out a page the way they do, why they use particular angles in panels, why they do specific pacing for different scenes, or why they do a slow pace for one scene and then, you know, cut out a whole lot for another scene, and, you know, leave it to your imagination. And I'm really enjoying that, and I feel like that's where a lot of my drive is coming from at the moment. Like the inking process at the moment, I used to, like, inking's probably my favorite part, but inking now is just such a easy task that now when I'm penciling, like, I'm getting really excited about creating a nice flow for each page, so to keep the readers as engaged as possible and to lead to their eyes and things like that. So finding this comic was just a really nice little kick up the bum to say, like, you know, this is who you are. You know, don't worry about what you're creating now and what you don't like, because at one stage I liked that comic. I was so happy with it, and I'm no doubt in my mind that I was really proud of it because I printed like a ton of copies of it and just gave it out to all my friends and stuff. And it's pretty crap. Like, the story's dumb. Like, I was reading it and I'm like, wow, I can't believe I even wrote this. Like, the writing is abysmal. It's quite a tale. So yeah, really glad that I found it and that I could share that with you guys and say, you know, like, look, it doesn't matter what you think of your art now, you know, as long as you keep going, as long as you strive and persist to continue to make comics and to get better at making comics and to become a better artist as well, you're only going to get better. You're only going to achieve goals, and you might not like what you've created a year from now, but at least you created it. At least you've put that product into the world. You've got that product as a recognition that you can do it, and that's, you know, like, that's, someone could pick that up and be like, yeah, that was me. That's where I was a year ago. This is me now. This is what I'm working on now. You know, you're not always going to create that perfect comic every time. Although it might be perfect for you then, it's not going to be perfect for you in a year's time or 2 years' time or whatever. It's, you know, just a learning and growing process. And holding on to that stuff's a nice reminder. Like, it makes me want to go back now and have a look at, like, How to Make a Friend and The Legend of Rock, and see how I drew that and figure out how I do it differently. I mean, I'd even love to, like, pick up Legend of Rock and redraw a page just to see how it would look in comparison to the way I drew it back then. Who knows? Anyway, I've rambled on long enough, so I'll leave you guys alone. Thank you guys for hanging out with me and for checking out the videos. If you liked the video, you know, that's just a regular daily update, but, you know, give it a like. It's always super appreciated. It makes my smile brighten a little bit more in the day. Leave a comment, especially if you've got some suggestions on some podcasts or some video vlogs or anything like that that are, you know, really good for art listening, or if you just want to say hello, or if you have thoughts about, like, you know, comics that you've made in the past and, you know, what they do for you to drive you now, or, you know, you can just say that I suck, whatever, you know, that's cool too, I suppose. A few people have been doing that lately, that's been fun, but, you know, that drives me. It makes me want to create better content. So, and also, there's been quite a few of you who have been messaging me through Instagram and things like that lately, just saying hello and, you know, just saying, you know, that you like the content that I'm creating, and I just want to say a big general huge thank you to all of you who have reached out, and that's awesome. Like, I love people who go out of their way to reach out and say stuff, and I've been trying to do the same thing lately with artists that I admire, so receiving that is just so awesome. I thank you guys so much for taking the time to get in touch with me. So and I, you know, there's a couple I haven't replied to yet, but I have seen them and I will be replying to them today. Just, you know, get a bit caught up with time, but, you know, I haven't ignored you. I do try and get to everyone as much as possible. So yeah, thanks a lot, guys. I'll leave you alone this time, and I'll leave you with a time lapse of this morning's drawing efforts. I'll catch you all tomorrow, and have a wicked day.